What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Donald Trump stopped by Twitter's New York headquarters on Monday to host the hashtag #AskTrump Q&A on the social media platform, and things didn't go quite as positively as hoped. Sure, the 69-year-old GOP presidential frontrunner appeared optimistic before starting tweeting a photo of himself standing in front of the Twitter's logo, giving a thumbs up and a smirk. But the questions mocking his hair, his many controversial statements, personality, and presidential run quickly ruled the hashtag, showing that perhaps this wasn't the best way for him to reach potential voters. One Twitter user wrote, "Do you have to work to become an ignorant, close-minded, and bigoted piece of buff trash, or does it come naturally?" While another wrote, "@real Donald Trump, is there a subway construction project going on near you? Ask for a friend. Hashtag #AskTrump." Another wrote, "Do you have a birth certificate to prove your hair is a U.S. citizenship? Hashtag #AskTrump." Another Twitter user wrote, hashtag #AskTrump. "Do you have any health problems we can pin our hopes on?" Another wrote, hashtag #AskTrump. "As the head of Slithering, do you feel your association to Voldemort will hinder your chances of becoming the Muggle president?" Another Twitter user wrote, "Is this your relative? Hashtag #AskTrump." Another tweeted, "If you build a wall to keep Mexicans out of the U.S., how will you get your suits into the country? Hashtag #AskTrump." Another wrote, "Do you hate Mexicans? Because most of us have that natural tan glow, and you can't achieve that without looking like an orange." Trump tweeted, "Send me your questions to answer live from @Twitter New York City later this afternoon." While the attempt to reach out to young voters appeared to have failed miserably, comedian Pat Oswalt isn't sure the event didn't do its job. He tweeted, "Of course, the hashtag #AskTrump hashtag backfired. It was supposed to. Jesus Christ, on a publicity stunt, guys." Stunt or not, Trump gave his stamp of approval with yet another big smile, thumbs up, and of course a perfectly coiffed do as he posed afterwards with the Twitter team. Donald Trump tweeted, "I had a great time at Twitter NYC, hashtag #AskTrump." One unlucky contestant discovered on Monday that she was the first to be voted off on season 21 of ABC's Dancing with the Stars. Unfortunately for Shaka Khan and professional dance partner Kimo Mostep, they received the least amount of votes after last week's premiere and were sent packing. Victor Espinoza and Kim Zolag Bryaman had also been at the bottom of the results table going into Monday's episode, which marked the first part of a two-night Hometown Glory event, taking the stars back to their roots. Triple Crown winning jockey Espinoza told the Wrap ahead of the season premiere on September 14th, "I just don't want to be the first one eliminated. If I make past it round one, then I'll be happy." However, it was controversial actor Gary Busey who joined Shaka in the bottom. The I Feel For You singer said politely when she received the bad news, "I really enjoyed it. I am so proud to have met everybody. This guy really is one of the best dancers I've ever seen." She then told host Tom Mejeron of her short-lived partnership with Moss Sept. Meanwhile, once again, it was Bindi Irwin, the daughter of the late crocodile hunter Steve Irwin, who won the hearts of judges and viewers for her performance with Derek Hugh. A second contestant will be eliminated on Tuesday's episode. Dancing with the Stars airs Monday and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on ABC. NBC's The Voice 9th season debuted last night with Season 8 coaches Blair Shelton, Adam Levine, and Pharrell all returned to their chairs. Gwen Stefani, who sat out last season, also came back as a coach. Four coaches kicked off the premiere with a group performance before getting to the first round of the blind auditions. Mark Hood, who had an acting background, was the first singer up. He said Shelton would be his top choice for a coach since it's an unexpected match. He sang Use Me by Bill Withers and got chair turns from all four coaches. Shelton said, "You make me really happy." All four made passionate pitches, and Hood ended up changing his mind about Shelton, going with Team Farrell, which just seemed to be the better fit for his jazzy sound. Next up was Coda Wade, who moved to California from New Mexico as an 11-year-old to pursue her music career. She eventually started a rock band called Bad Wolf, but she decided to go more of a soul route from her blind audition and sang Bring It On Home to Me, the Sam Cooke classic. Shelton compared her to Cyndi Lauper, but Wade said she has idolized Stefani since she was 5 years old, so she picked Team Gwen. 33-year-old Irish rocker Keith Stemple auditioned next. He sang Bon Jovi's I'll Be There For You and got a chair turn from Levine, as well as a last-second turn from Stefani, who tried to play her part Irish card to secure Stemple from Team Gwen. Both Stefani and Levine name-dropped Bono in their pitches for Stemple. Shelton, as usual, advocated for Stefani just to sabotage Levine. In the end, Stemple went with Team Adam. Alyssa Sheridan from San Diego auditioned next, and she dedicated her performance to her stepdad, who was killed while serving in the military. She sang I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan, and none of the coaches turned their chairs, but she said she would continue to work towards her goal of having a career in music. Shahana M., a 15-year-old artist, sang Fever, and Stefani turned her chair almost immediately, followed later by Shelton and Farrell. M had a mature voice, and the coaches were all surprised to see how young she is. Defending the voice champion, Farrell used his signature move and got up from the chair to give her a hug. It worked, and she became Team Farrell's second artist. The next artist, Jordan Smith, sang Sia's Chandelier, which was an ambitious song choice, but he proved to have the strong vocal control and secure a quadruple chair turn. He also got a standing ovation from the coaches, who were also impressed with his performance. Smith was faced with a tough decision when all four coaches made it very clear how badly they wanted him. After a dramatic cut to commercial, Smith made his choice, Team Adam. The next artist goes by Dr. Paul, and he's a 66-year-old veteran musician. He sang Mama Tried, but none of the coaches pressed their buttons. Sheldon complimented his overall tone, but said there were some errors with his techniques. Well into the second hour of the premiere, and Team Blake was still artistless, Nadeja Nicole auditioned with Tightrope by Janelle Monáe, and Levine turned his chair first, but Sheldon snuck in a last-second turn, so it was a classic Sheldon-Levine face-off. Najee went in with Team Blake, becoming Sheldon's first artist of Season 9. Braden Sunshine, at just 15 years old, sang The Mountains Win Again, and at first it looked like he wasn't going to get any of the coaches to push their buttons. But then Stefani and Farrell both turned on his very last note. He picked Team Gwen, even though he went in thinking he would choose Farrell. Following Sunshine, Michael Woolery, the son of longtime game show host Chuck Woolery, sang Say by John Mayer, and the coaches were not impressed enough to turn their chairs. The last artist of the night was Barrett Babber, who survived in a plane crash that took 11 lives in 1999. He sang Angel Eyes, and all four coaches turned almost immediately. Babber told the coaches, expressing an interest in combined country and soul, I'm trying to pioneer a new sound and carving out his own place in music. Levine pointed out that Babber has a little bit of each of the coaches' style in him. He decided to join Team Blake. Night one of the blind audition showcased an immense range of talent, with artists from all different levels of experience fighting to stand out. Whose team is going to look the tightest this season? We're going to find out. Actor Ryan Reynolds revealed in the October 2015 issue of GQ that he was forced to cut off one of his closest friends recently after the person attempted to sell photos of his baby daughter, James. The Deadpool star, who's 38, says, a guy that I've known for my whole life, one of my closest friends growing up, he had been shopping pictures of my baby around. Revealing Reynolds, who shares the 9-month-old James with his wife, Blake Lively. I kind of got in front of it, which is good, but it was a slightly dark period, a bad couple of weeks. Reynolds noted that the corporate was someone he'd known most of his life. He elaborated, someone I grew up with, somebody I've known who been one of my closest friends for 25 years. It was like a death. It was like one of those devastating things to find out. After him and his wife discovered the betrayal, the star confronted his now ex-pal. Reynolds said, It was a pretty strong, wrongly worded conversation. He did just for the money. I mean, I don't think he thought he would ever be caught. But it's a very narrow group of people that I would send photos like that to. They're just like my closest family, my closest friends. Here's us in the living room. Reynolds said he had to ultimately cut the person off. It was like so kind of shocking. He told GQ, there isn't really a conversation to have. It's just, oh, well, now I'm never going to see you or talk to you again, unfortunately. That's kind of how it works out. Former Teen Mom star Farrah Abraham was ousted on the Celebrity Big Brother UK house in an elimination twist on Friday. Each of the top 4 voter-getters on Team US were guaranteed a spot in the house and given the opportunity to keep one person around. And when it came down to Austin Armacos, who is known for dating Mark Jacobs, to select the last person who would stay, he had option to choose between porn pros Jenna Jameson and the Teen Mom OG star. After babbling about how it was a difficult choice and how he had grown close to both women, he finally dropped Abraham's name as the latest evictee after host Emma Willis told him he was out of time. Guess the 24-year-old's little sex ed lesson with the banana last week wasn't enough to keep her past 23 days on the competition. As she walked out of the house in a short, tight black lace dress to her exit interview, the studio audience gave her a hearty round of boos. She clearly didn't make any new fans overseas. Abraham, obviously used to having haters, hooted and cheered for herself while waving happily back. It turns out the reality personality wasn't exactly sorry to be leaving, despite previously saying she was in it to win it. I miss my life. I miss my real life, she told the host of being glad to exit. I think it's very hard for a real person to win this. I don't buy into a lot of what goes on in this house. In fact, she was so upset by the drama a few weeks ago that when Big Brother called her into the dairy room to defuse the situation, she only blew up even more. In an F-bomb laced tirade, the mom of one screamed that she was going to liberate the effing scum you have in this effing house and was going to straight up effing kill this whole effing house. Despite her angry threat, Abraham said it was actually her who fell unsafe in the house. Team UK contestant Bobby DeVero went in on me, and everyone saw that, and everyone knew that it was very unsafe. Abraham told Digital Spy after her eviction. She claimed that she was so worried that she even asked to leave. Channel 5, the British TV network that airs the competition, denied the Digital Spy that Abraham said she had concerns for her safety or that she wanted to quit. Jared Leto and Chris Evans are in talks to join the high-wattage cast of The Girl on the Train, DreamWorks' adaptation of Paula Hawkins' bestseller. Emily Blunt, Rebecca Ferguson, and Haley Bennett are already on board the project, which centers on Rachel, played by Blunt, a woman who's jobless and an alcoholic, and who spends her daily train ride fantasizing about the seemingly perfect couple living in a house that she passes. After coming home one night covered in blood and unable to remember much of the blackout drinking episode, she begins to realize that she may have witnessed or been involved in a crime. Ferguson is playing Anna, the former mistress and current wife of Rachel's ex-husband. Bennett is set to play Megan, a married neighbor who Rachel becomes obsessed. Evans would play Tom, the ex-husband, and Leto would play the neighbor's husband, but sources say one stumbling block to an eventual deal is scheduled for both actors. Tay Taylor is directing the project, which is a script by Aaron Crescenda Wilson. Mark Platt is producing the film, which will be executive produced by Jared LaBeouf and Celia Costas. Some clarity could be coming in the legal battle between pop star Kesha Rose Sherbert and songwriter-producer Dr. Luke. That's because on Friday, Kesha pushed for a preliminary injunction, meaning that the New York judge will soon have to make a determination if she is likely to succeed on the merits of a claim that her recording contracts are void. The dispute erupted last October when Kesha claims to have been the victim of a rampant abuse by Dr. Luke, including an instance where she allegedly drugged and raped her. The producer filed his own claims against Kesha, painting the dispute as an attempt to extort him in order to extricate her from contracts with Luke's Kemosabe Records label housed under Sony. Dr. Luke has so far prevailed in getting this dispute adjudicated in New York rather than California. Now comes the big action. In court papers filed on Friday, Kesha's attorney Mark Gregos told the judge why determination is needed so. He says, under this court rule on the declaratory judgment claim, Kesha is an impasse, said in the memorandum supporting an injunction that would bar Dr. Luke from interfering with her signing with another label. She cannot work with music producers, publishers, or record labels to release new music. With no new music to perform, Kesha cannot tour. Off the radio and stage and out of the spotlight, Kesha cannot sell merchandise, receive sponsorships, or get media attention. Her brand value has fallen, and under the court issues this injunction, Kesha will suffer irreparable harm, plummeting her career past to the point of no return. In support, Kesha has submitted an affidavit from Jim Urey, who was president and CEO of Universal Music Group Distribution from 2003 until this past January. He agrees that without an injunction, her career is toasted. He said, no mainstream distribution company will invest the money necessary to distribute songs for an artist who has fallen from the public eye, as is happening to Kesha at this very moment. Accordingly, if Kesha cannot immediately resume recording and have her music promoted, marketed, and distributed in a major label, her career is effectively over. Kesha herself has submitted an affidavit that repeats her story of her decade-old relationship with Dr. Luke, plus added some new allegations. They met after she turned 18. She said that on one occasion they went to a party and she had drinks. Later, she allegedly gave her a sober pill, and Kesha said she woke up later in his bed. Comedian Tracy Morgan brought his baby daughter Maven and his new wife Megan Wollover to the 67th premiere Primetime Emmy Awards on Sunday. Following his surprise appearance, Morgan opened up to U.S. Weekly and other reporters about his road to recovery following his traumatic car accident last fall. The 30 Rock actor, who's 46, walked the red carpet with Wollover and their adorable tot outside the Microsoft Theater in L.A. Lil Maven, who's 2, was dressed stylishly in a black dress with the fringe plummeted skirt and matching cat accessories. The couple, who wed last month in an emotional ceremony in New Jersey, welcomed their baby girl in July 2013. Morgan made a surprise appearance at the Emmys on Sunday, receiving a standing ovation from the star-studded crowds, including old friends Tina Fey, Jane Krakowski, and Amy Poehler. The 30 Rock star said, "I miss you guys. Thanks to my amazing doctors and the support of my family and my beautiful wife, I'm here, standing on my own 2 feet." Following the emotional appearance, Morgan opened up to U.S. backstage about the warm reception from his peers. He said, "It was very overwhelming. 15 months, I missed it. So when I got on stage, it was overwhelming for me. I had to not be so emotional in that moment. I just wanted to let them know I missed them. I missed them very much." Morgan opened up about the harrowing June 2014 accident that claimed the life of his friend, fellow comic James McNair. He told us, "I wanted to walk my wife down the aisle with no cane. God allowed me the opportunity to be in front of my peers, and they said, 'Welcome back, Trey.'" In fact, Morgan says his family refused to let him give up. "My wife wouldn't let me do that. My son wouldn't let me do that. And I looked at my little daughter's face, and they wouldn't let me do that. I just hope my tragedy and Jimmy's death isn't in vain. This thing that happened to me can be prevented now from people just dying in the road. That's what I hope. But I wouldn't give it up. My father was drafted into Vietnam at 17, and he wouldn't give up. So I wanted to be like my father. Even when he got AIDS, he never gave up. So we don't do that as Morgans." January Jones and Will Forte have ended their relationship just after 5 months of dating, a source confirmed exclusively to Us Weekly. The pair called it quits last month. As previously reported, Jones and Forte met on the set of the post-apocalyptic series The Last Man on Earth. They began dating in April. The exes both attended the 67 Primetime Emmy Awards in L.A. on Sunday. No awkward run-ins at the ceremony or any after-parties were reported. Jones, 37, spent most of the night celebrating with her Mad Men cast. Forte, 45, was nominated in the lead actor in the comedy series category for his Fox's comedy role, but lost it to Transparent's Jeffrey Tambor. As for why the actress isn't on board with Forte, it may be due to the fact that she's not looking for commitment. Jones has told pals that relationships are a pain in the ass, the insider says. Jones, who is a mom to 4-year-old Xander, previously dated director Noah Miller until they split in January 2013. Prior to Miller, she was linked to Jason Sudeikis, Ashton Kutcher, and Josh Groban. She has kept the identity of Xander's father private. A 17-year-old former member of a Japanese girl band, or idol group as they call it in the country, was found to be in breach of a no-dating clause in her contract in order to pay $5,400 by the Tokyo District Court. Judge Akitomoto Jimiya, in his ruling, added the clause prohibiting dating was necessary to get the support of male fans. The revelation of an idol's relationship damaged their image. Contracts forbidding romantic engagements are a standard for members of Japan's idol groups, but this is understood to be the first time a management company has successfully sued for damages. The six-member group signed its contract in March 2013 and debuted in July of that year. After reports surfaced that one member, who would have been 15 at the time, went to a hotel with two male fans, the group disbanded in October 2013. The management company claimed the damages of $42,375 from the girl and her parents to compensate for the money it had spent on the group. Her parents would have to sign the contract because she is a minor. But the fact that a minor went to a hotel with two men doesn't appear to have been a cause of concern for the management of the presiding judge. Neither the group nor the management company was named in the court report, but online sleuths have deducted from the time that it was certainly an outfit called Doki Doki that was managed by Spiral Music. The extremely lucrative idol business in Japan relies heavily on the fantasy of the availability of the girl next door type members of groups, most of whom are minors. Despite being marketed as sex symbols, often dressed provocatively, and sometimes the girls are expected to maintain an aura of innocence and purity. Rapper Snoop Dogg on Monday unveiled a new media company website devoted to, what else, marijuana. Born Calvin Brodus Jr., the music mogul and co-founder of MaryJane.com, described his new online destination as the encyclopedia to the cannabis world during TechCrunc's Disrupt in San Francisco. Snoop said, "We're providing the industry with something that's void right now. We are the information hotline for cannabis. What's missing." Mary Jane co-founder and media entrepreneur Ted Chung said Mary Jane will feature news, videos, editorial contents, and original programming, including The Flower, an interview series. Chung said, "There are a few companies out there that have attempted to enter into the marketplace, and their download apps total and page views total are really numbers that we're going to crush within the first 6 months. I think the interest level and the demand is there. It's just about someone coming to the forefront like Snoop, like our other partners, including actor Seth Rogen, and providing the site and media platform that can take cannabis to the next level. The site will officially launch in October. Until then, 420 users a day, of course, will be selected to test out the marijuana site beta version. For the moment, the site is just a whirling cloud of green smoke with the option to register and email for the opportunity to be chosen as a beta tester." Snoop said, "There are so many people in the closet, and we are giving them an opportunity to come out of the closet just to admit they like to smoke." The UK TV show It Was Alright in the 60s shocked Beatle fans when it recently revealed footage of John Lennon ridiculing disabled people during a performance. In the clip, which aired on September 19th, Lennon encouraged the screaming crowd to clap their hands and stomp their feet while he speaks with a speech impediment and making awkward clapping and stomping movements that one Twitter user describes as distasteful learning disability impressions. It Was Alright is designed to bring focus to the way that the entertainment industry and our standards for acceptable behavior has changed over the past several decades. Other episodes of the Channel 4 show include It Was Alright in the 70s, It Was Alright in the 80s. But if the response on Twitter is any indication, the Lennon clip has been the most troubling footage revealed so far on the show. In The Independent, Lorianne Bellamy, a spokeswoman for the disability charity MenCap, who herself has a learning disability, acknowledged the footage was 5 decades old, but said it was shocking and painful to watch. She says, "Times may have changed, but I always find it hard to believe how such famous people can have these terrible views about real people." And now let's look back at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1985, the first Farming concert is held in Champaign, Illinois. It started with an offhand remark made by Bob Dylan during his performance at Live Aid, the massive fundraising concert held at the Wembley Stadium, London, and JFK Stadium in Philadelphia in the early summer of 1985. As television viewers around the world phoned in donations in support of African famine relief, Dylan said from the stage, "I hope that some of the money, maybe they can take just a little bit of it, maybe $1 or $2 million, maybe, and use it, say, to pay the mortgages on some of the farms and the farmers here owed to the banks. Dylan would come under harsh criticism from Live Aid organizer Bob Geldof for his remarks. It was a crazy, stupid, and nationalistic thing to say, Geldof would later write. But he planted a seed with several fellow musicians who shared his concern over the state of the American family farm. Less than 1 month later, Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and John Mellencamp announced plans for Farm Aid, a benefit concert for America's farmers held in Champaign, Illinois on this day in 1985. As one might have expected of a concert stage to raise awareness about the loss of family farms and to raise funds to keep farm families on their land, Farm Aid featured a number of performers from the worlds of country, folk, and rootsy rock music. There were the three main organizers and the instigators, Bob Dylan, for instance, along with Hoyt Axton, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Emmylou Harris, Waylon Jennings, Loretta Lynn, Joni Mitchell, and Charlie Pride. But the first Farm Aid, more than any of the annual Farm Aid concerts since, was a bit of stylistic free-for-all, featuring artists united only by their interest in supporting a good cause. Sammy Hagar told MTV Cameras on the day of the show, "As soon as I read in the paper that there was going to be such a thing, I called my manager and said, I want to do it. And he said, it's all country. I said, I don't care. It's America. I want to do it." If there was anything more surprising than hearing Hagar perform his hard rock anthem, I Can't Drive 55, on the same stage that had earlier featured the quiet folk of Earl Guthrie, it was hearing Lou Reed perform Walk on the Wild Side on stage that featured John Denver. Over the years since its first charity concert on this day in 1985, the Farm Aid organization has raised upwards to $33 million to support small farmers, promote sustainable farming practices, and enough consumption of good food from family farms. Also on this date in 1994, Friends debuted. The television sitcom Friends, about 6 young adults living in New York City, debuts on NBC. The show, which featured a group of relatively unknown actors, went on to become a huge hit and aired for 10 seasons. It also prepared the cast Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, and David Schwimmer to varying degrees of stardom and success in Hollywood. Of the 6 main Friends cast members, Jennifer Aniston emerged as arguably the most famous. Aniston played the fashion-loving Rachel Green, who, when the show began, worked as a waitress at Central Perk, a coffee shop that served as a gathering spot for the Friends. The actress's blonde, layered hairstyle became the first season known as the Rachel and was copied by women around the globe. Off-screen, Aniston, whose film credits include The Good Girl, Bruce Almighty, and Rumor Has It, and The Breakup, became a tabloid media fixture for a relationship with the actor Brad Pitt. The couple married in a lavish ceremony in Malibu in California in 2000 and announced their separation in early 2005 amid soon-to-be-confirmed rumors of Pitt's involvement with the actress Angelina Jolie. Courtney Cox, the best known of the cast members when Friends debuted, played Monica Geller, the actress who first gained notice when she appeared in the Bruce Springsteen video Dancing in the Dark, acted in the popular sitcom Family Ties, opposite Jim Carrey in 1994's hit comedy Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. She was later featured in the successful Scream movies and TV's Dirt. The male friends included Matt LeBlanc as Joey Tribbiani, a handsome but dim-witted struggling actor. From 2004 to 2006, LeBlanc starred in the spin-off TV series Joey. David Schwimmer played Ross Geller, a sensitive penitologist and Monica's older brother. One of the main storylines on Friends was Ross's on-again, off-again relationship with Aniston's Rachel. Schwimmer others' acting credits include the 2001 TV miniseries Band of Brothers. Rounding out the Friends cast was Matthew Perry, who played the wisecracking businessman Chandler Bing. Perry's film credits included Fools Rush In, The Whole 9 Yards, and The Whole 10 Yards. And more recently, he co-starred on the short-lived NBC comedy drama series Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. On May 6, 2004, more than 50 million viewers reportedly tuned in to the final episode of Friends, making it one of the most watched TV finales in history. And that is your entertainment report for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello. That's RAYMELO. or on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.